Hello, I'm Simon. Welcome back to my workshop. Now in my last video I used this old strap to improvise a framing clamp, and today I'm going to convert this strap into a proper strap clamp using this strap and this chair leg. Let's get tinkering. I'm not going to need all of this chair leg, so the first thing I do is tidy up the end and then cut it roughly to size. I'm going to use my flip up router table to put a groove down the length of this piece of lumber. I've set the vacuum underneath and it's rigged to turn on automatically using my auto vac system, which I've got a video on. All the feather boards are in place and the router bit is set to cut a groove that's about 2mm deep. It's not actually wide enough, but I can turn the piece round and cut it again, and I should get the width that I need. And that turns out to be a perfect fit. Cutting this, I now realise it would have been better if I hadn't cut it short to start with. I'm not going to have anything to hold. I fiddle around a bit and then come up with a solution. The groove on these blocks needs to carry on round the corner, so I've fed them all in and I've set up the feather board so it's above the router bit. This means it'll always be pushing the block against the table, and that should mean I get a decent cut. So now I have these blocks with a groove going round the corner. I'll use a sanding stick just to take the sharp edge off the corner. I set up the fence and stop block on my pillar drill table so that I could drill the centre out of each block. Then with the fence set on my bandsaw, I cut the corner out. I also need some fin strips to hold the straps to the corner pieces. I'm going to use the offcuts to make these fin strips, and because they're such tiny pieces, I first need to glue them to another piece. Now I can use the improvised jig to cut the strips on the bandsaw. I've now got all the parts I need, they just need a little sanding. I can now glue the parts together. I'll also need something to hold the loose strap. I cut a small piece of 18 by 18mm plywood at about 1.25 inches long, and then drill a hole down its length. I need to make a small handle, so I start by cutting an off cut of pine into a square profile. Then I chop a small piece off and drill a hole down the middle. I cut a shallow hole to accommodate a nut and then drill all the way through and make this square piece into a circle. I then round off the ends using the belt sander. I can now glue up these pieces. And I use some super glue to hold the bolt in place. I then finish it with some Danish oil. I now sand everything off. The bolt was too short. Now I didn't measure it obviously, it looked long enough but it clearly was about 1/2 inch too short, so I'll have to find another one. Well, I'll find a longer bolt that should do, but the head's a little bit too big, so I have to grind that down first. The rectangular block has to be solid on the shaft, so I'm going to just use some super glue, see if that works. Might have to come back to it and put a little screw in to stop it from rotating on the shaft. The glue didn't work, so I drill a hole through the block and through the bolt. Well, it was really easy with the Proxon rotary tool, straight through the middle. I'll now add a nail to the hole and glue the nail in. All that remains is for me to fit it all together. Well, I for one love tinkering in my workshop. I don't do it out of necessity or cost, and all the parts for this particular project didn't cost me anything because they were lying around in my cupboards. I do it because I love it. And when you end up building something like this strap clamp that looks fantastic and functions really well and is made out of recycled parts, then what isn't there to like? If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, then please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.